Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today's topic is getting out of debt joyfully. Debt is something, loans, which are considered a negative in many people's lives. And the judgment of making it wrong is actually what makes the journey difficult. So I've had multiple property loans in my life, and always for me and my husband, it was fun to return it. We never thought, oh my God, we have this loan. And that was just our way of being. And we used to return the loan, then invest in another property, have another loan, and life went on. Very, very much later in life, I realized that many people have a so-called negative point of view about debt, about loans. And I couldn't even comprehend it in the beginning. In fact, this book, when it was launched, Getting Out of Debt Joyfully, I joyfully joined the book club at that time. The book is written by Simone Milases. I had no debts, but I just felt like joining the class. And I actually created a challenge for myself. I said, since I don't have a debt, I should do something different in this journey. And this was my zillionth class at that time of Access. And I said, okay, let me create that I will earn in dollars and pay for this book reading club in dollars. I think that time it was like, I don't know, $1,000 or something. The book reading club was $1,000, which means about, in today's conversion, it could be 80,000 rupees. Even in those days, it was 50 to 60,000 rupees. I could have read the book on my own, yet I chose to just join the book reading club. And I was on a trip to South Africa. I was attending one of the Access classes. I think it's called, it used to be called the 7-day. Nowadays it's called 6 days because it's of 6 days nowadays. And I was at South Africa and I said, okay, I'm going to join this class and I'm going to pay in dollars. That was 2015, I think. And that was the first time, or 2016, whichever. And that was the first time I started earning. After leaving a job, I never thought I would earn in dollars. And that was the first time I was cognitively receiving in dollars. I was like, wow. In that particular session in South Africa itself, people asked me for sessions and I paid 3-month installment at a single go. And I chose the installment scheme at that time. It was a book reading club over 12 months. And I said, I'm going to pay in installments because I'm going to earn in rupees. Not in rupees, but I'm going to earn in dollars and pay for it in dollars. What I earn in rupees, I'm not going to convert it this time. So I just wanted to create a different perspective on how I wanted to go about it. And I think I paid it up in about, within 5 months, I was done with the whole year's payment. So many of you may have no loans. Some of you may have loans. And what if neither is wrong or right, good or bad? A lot of our life, we have been making things right, wrong, good, bad. And that is what is pulling us down. So I'm Deepa Ramaraj. For those of you who haven't met me, I'm an Access Consciousness Facilitator. I facilitate several courses under the Access Consciousness umbrella. I'm a computer science engineer. I worked a lot in the IT field, and about 9 years ago, I chose this area, and I had always been in employment until then, except for, several years ago, I was not in employment, and that was a very uncomfortable period for me. And I hated the unpredictability of earning money and how much money was coming in at that time. And just because of that discomfort, I quickly moved to a method again when I was getting a regular income, a predictable income, so that I could have a predictable life and manage my life predictably. So I'm done with all of that, and I'm happy to create possibilities. When we create a predictable life, there's only so much that we can create. And I'm so thankful and grateful for all these tools from Access. When I started the journey about 9 years ago, I had no point of view about what I'm going to create, how it's going to look like, and it was just amazing. After 6 months, when I noticed the income I had, I already had some 50 to 60% of what I was earning in my previous IT company, which was a multinational company. And I was a program manager there. And I was like, wow, without cognitively using these tools, I'm already earning so much. So what if I could start using more of these tools and change my money reality? And that was a new beginning again for me. So have I had several new beginnings? Yes. What if every day is a new beginning? What if, sometimes I had so much of the past bothering me. I said, okay, what if I just got amnesia and I forgot the past? And then if I had no definitions of me, what would I like to create today? And that question has helped me tremendously, because sometimes your past definitions of I'm like this, I'm like that. In the office, there used to be many people reporting to me. Now I'm either a solopreneur, which means I'm solo, I'm working alone, or I have like so many reportees or whatever stuff. It is not the same. And so I started letting go of all those definitions, and definitions of being in employment, definitions of being in business, definitions of thinking there is only one business to create. So a lot of changes have been created just by my choice. So what could you choose today that could create greater for you? So I'm going to stop talking here, and any one of you who has a question, feel free to ask, and let's see what else we can create.
Okay, Deepa. So I do not have any debts, but whenever I do this how to become money workbook, there is a question, right? Like, what do you have more of, money or debts? So that time I get energetically, I have debts. So,
okay.
And also, like, I feel indebted to people like who have taken care of me up till now. So sometimes it's very difficult to have gratitude for them, because what to say, because they're very disempowering, to put it like that. So
okay, so what's your question?
My question is like how to be free from this feeling indebtedness.
Feeling indebtedness. Okay, great. Thank you so much for your question.
Okay.
What if you're actually indebted to nobody? Feeling indebted is, first of all, feeling is something which we are pulling into the body so that we can feel it. So let's say you have a glass of water. The glass of water can feel cold, it can feel hot, it can feel room temperature, correct?
Okay.
So those are all feelings. So we try to pull things into our body so that we can feel. That itself is something that many of us choose, which is disempowering. So everywhere you are trying to feel all this, are you willing to let go some of that now?
Yes.
Cool. So I'm not going to do the clearing statement. I'm not going to explain the clearing statements, but I'm still going to say it. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shorts, boys, poads, and beyonds. So this clearing statement actually clears some of our baggage or whatever we are looking to clear. So we have created our life in a great way with what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. And this classification is what disempowers us. This classification is actually what pulls down our energies. So what if you didn't have to disempower you? What if you did not have to disempower your body? What if you did not have to feel all these things to make it real and true for you?
Yeah. Can I say
Okay.
something?
Sure.
So recently I've seen a web series, like I'll just say in 2-3 sentences, where a guy is studying in US and the brother-in-law funds for him, like pays his fees and all. Then later, when he comes to his sister's place, he finds that the brother-in-law is abusing the sister, like without nobody knowing, like within the bedroom, like he's abusing it. So the guy says that the guy doesn't think anything. That's it. I'm taking my sister and going. He doesn't think that oh, brother-in-law has uh, done so much for me, and he wasn't willing to compromise at all. This is not good, and we are leaving. Uh, like there are times which I should have walked out and I didn't. So I was like just amazed, like when he felt that that is not something which is right. He was he was willing to take a decision then and there. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So where have you decided? You can't choose greater for you, because unless you add you to your life,
Yeah.
obligation is where you're adding the other person but excluding you. Obligation is a program where you are removing you from the picture, and now you are obligated to somebody else because of something they chose to do for you. What if you
Okay.
were
Yeah.
not obligated to anybody? Anybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Once I asked Gary about this actually, and it was related to the topic of obligation. And he said in Asia, there is a lot of obligation that is expected. Okay. People have a sense, like parents feel that their children should be obligated to them. Okay. Husbands feel wives should be obligated to them. Wives may also feel the same way, the other way around. So what if you're not obligated to anybody? Because when we create from obligation, we are creating from no choice universe.
Yes.
There is no choice. We just have to do because we have to do for this person.
Okay.
And that actually creates less,
Mhm.
right? So everywhere
Yes.
you have decided you're obligated to someone, can you all be willing to let go 1% of that? You can still be obligated to 99% of people. So
Yes.
if you're willing to just let go 1%, yes,
Yes.
I'm going to say right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pork, all nine shorts, boys, poads, and beyonds. So what is this line that we are saying? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pork, all nine shorts, boys, poads, and beyonds. You don't have to understand it, but it just clears stuff. Wherever we have made a relationship right for us, we cannot look to something else. There are so many people who are in a job. They've made working in a job right for them, then they can never quit. They cannot see what else is possible. I met somebody the other day. She's working and she says, Deepa, I so love to renovate antiques and revive them and look at how they could be used. And that's something that totally is a passion for me. But I'm not choosing that because I feel I can't make money out of that. And then I feel at this age, if I start, I said, what do you mean this age? Who cares what age you are? Nobody does. And even if they do, how does it make a difference to you? You would like to create something, go after your passion, and the money will get created. Unless you are willing to choose what is fun for you, how can creating money be fun? You're just going as an obligation. I have to go for this job because there is no other way. And then you wear flippers and just go with life day after day like that, right? That's where you made having a job an obligation. So what if you didn't have to choose any obligation? What if you could just choose possibilities?
That's great. That's great.
Any other questions? Anyone? Thank you for asking that, Shona. No questions? Okay. So I think one of you is not muted. Could you just mute yourself, please? Just check. Okay, I think this is done. So I'm just going to read a part from the book. If you are looking for a quick fix to your money problems, this is not it. This is the first line of the first chapter. Sometimes, in the case of getting out of debt joyfully, people are looking at something else to clear their debts, their loans. A book cannot clear it for you. A series of calls, a workshop cannot clear it for you. There is only one person who can clear it for you, and that is you. And how can you change that? You can change that. You can create that with your choices. Creating debts is actually a habitual thing. So it's a habit. People keep creating debts. So if something is easy money for them, it's just like borrow from somebody. I have enough to spend now. I spend that. That is the way some people create money. By the way, I believe this book is an invitation for anybody who doesn't have a loan, including those people who are creating their lives with other people's money. So if you're dependent on your parents, on your spouse for spending money, but not creating on your own enough for you to spend on, then this is also something that you can add to your life. I'm creating a book club from Monday. Every Monday, we have 8 Mondays from 9 p.m. IST, India time. And we'll have to see what it is for your time zone. If any of you is from another time zone, we can look at how to convert that money, convert the time to your time zone and see what is possible. Now, you don't have to join the book club. You can get the book on your own and read the book on your own, which is perfectly fine. So today we're going to read little parts of the book. So if you're looking for a quick fix to your money problems, this is not it. I love that line. This is the way she just hits you straight, and says, this is what it is. So that is Simone Milases. And what if for a person who has debts, who has loans, the suggestion is give yourself 12 months. Look at how you could start returning some of your loans. So while this is a book reading club, we had a series a few months ago. We started, I think, in the month of September or October last year. Or was it August? I think we started August. So and for 6 months, we had calls every month. It was called Getting Out of Debt Joyfully. And that was a very different workshop where we had 2 calls every month. It was really interesting how different people created different things. There was one person who was, the series ended in January, but recently when I was speaking to one of the earlier class participants, she was saying how she just recently returned 20 lakhs, which was outstanding to somebody. So, the tools of the workshops, the tools of the book they still are with you. And you can always choose a change in your life. And if she could return 20 lakhs, that means she would have earned more than that. Okay. She would have definitely earned more than that. And then from that money, she was able to keep aside some money so that she could return her past expenditures. So one of the tools is to not call it a debt, to not allow it to pull your energies down. Call it past expenditure. If you call it a past expenditure, for example, you have a housing loan. If you have a housing loan and you are paying month on month some equated monthly installments, you have a loan. Now the house has already been given to you. You may rent it out, you may keep it empty, you may live there, but the house is with you. And that loan that has been given to you is actually a past expenditure that the bank or the financial institution has spent on your behalf to whoever was the developer or the builder. And now you have this house. So what if you could actually be in gratitude to that institution which has given you the loan, which has given you new possibilities of owning this house? And what if you could also be in gratitude to that property? Rather than focus on the loan, which might seem heavy, start practicing gratitude for the institution which has contributed to you. If you have paid your loan installments till date, what if you could be in gratitude to you? Gratitude is a great, great tool too. What does gratitude do? Gratitude actually opens up your thoughts, opens up your emotions, opens up a lot of sense of well-being. Sometimes we are only looking at the negatives in our life. We are not looking at what is working for us. Being in gratitude actually starts opening up new possibilities. When you are willing to be in gratitude to you for having come this far, you have food, clothes, shelter. You didn't die as yet because of hunger or drought. That itself is something amazing. What if you could be in gratitude to you for having created that? It doesn't matter if you did not earn the money, it doesn't matter who earned the money. You created that possibility where you just chose to receive food, shelter, clothing, and all of that and much more. One of the things to really realize is that you are the source for money creation in your life. Once you acknowledge that, your life will change. Your life will change because you're not dependent on other people to come take control of your life and sort out your life for you.
Deepa, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay. Deepa, with regards to any past expenditure or EMI, while I was growing, I've seen my parents struggling a lot with loans and debts and all things. So when I started earning, my first aim was I will never get into debt. I will never get into EMI. There's so much fear that is ingrained in me that if there is an EMI or loan, maybe 2 months prior to that, even if I take an EMI, it's a very small amount, maybe 20,000, 30,000 for a phone or a laptop or something like that. But I go into so much of panic mode that I clear that even 2 months before the actual tenure could get over. And because of this, there are so many things which I want to do, like which requires a little bigger amount, but I don't want to get into any kind of debt. So can there be some clearings for this, Deepa, for this fear of getting into debt? I know I can clear it, but I don't want to get into a zone where I know what my parents have struggled. I never ever want to get into that kind of stress.
Okay, I so get what you're saying. So are you creating from your parents' reality?
Yes, Deepa.
What if you didn't have to create from their reality? What if you could create from your reality? Their reality was their reality. They created whatever, correct? I met other people who also panic when they hear about taking a housing loan. They cannot take a housing loan. So they will wait until they earn so much money, keeps aside so much money that they can then buy a house without a loan. How many possibilities are you killing by waiting? A little, a lot, not at all.
A lot. A lot.
Right. So a few years after I started working, my husband and I, both of us were working, and we wanted to buy a flat. So we asked, okay, what is the rate of interest? What is the scheme? What is it we have to do? So, okay, I'm just coming up with these numbers. So a flat was, let's say, 4 lakhs at that time, and we had to create at least 25% of that. We had to put it from our pocket, which meant we had to have 1 lakh rupees, which we didn't have. Okay, so we did a lot, and in about 1.5 years or something, we created 1 lakh rupees. We were so excited, like, yay, now we can buy a flat. We went to the market and everything was 6 lakhs and above. I was so disappointed. I was so upset. I was speaking to my parents and I said, my God, the past 1.5 years, I've been really desperately trying to create this money. I have created it. And now flat prices have gone up. I'm so upset. I don't know what to do. So after a couple of days, my mother called me up and she said, hey, you know what? In this city, in Bangalore, you cannot buy because it's very expensive. But if you're willing to purchase in a smaller town, not in such a major city, then it might be cheaper. Are you interested in investing in a smaller town? And I was like, okay, that is something I could look at. And then she said, okay, your sister is in so-and-so town. Would you like to buy there? I said, yeah, okay, I could look at that. And we actually bought a flat over there. Now, to make a long story short, we bought a flat, it got done, we rented it out. And after a couple of years of renting it, we decided to sell it. When I sold it, I actually did a math. I did a math and I discovered that I hardly made some 10,000 rupees in the whole bargain of paying loans and some whatever interest rate and all that stuff. I said, it doesn't matter that I hardly made any money in the buying and selling of this house, but I was in gratitude to that flat, to my sister who took care of it in those times, and to my mother for suggesting it, that I was so grateful that I got the confidence that I can pay EMIs, I can take a place on rent, I can, pay for rent in Bangalore and pay for the EMIs. It gave me a whole different reality. Much later, when we moved to Singapore, we bought another place there. In between, we bought some land and I took a loan from my parents. I told them I'm going to take 3 years to return it, but I returned it in 6 months. So really, we had taken a lot of loans many times and always we closed the loans with ease. It was just our mindset. We did not have any thought about anything else. And that makes a huge difference. So what do you do when you have baggage? Like, what you shared. Let's look at that. So everywhere you're creating from your parents' reality, are you willing to let go all of that now?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. And everywhere you made it real and true for you, are you willing to let go all of that now?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. I'm just going to request one of you to just put on the chat window the clearing statement for people who may not be familiar with it, so that it's just there in front of their eyes for them. So instead of using the word let go, we use the words destroy and uncreate. This does not destroy possibilities, but it's just about opening up new possibilities, because it's like a vacuum clean effect. It's like deleting and removing the cobwebs which are not working for us. It will not remove the energies which will work for you. Whatever doesn't work for you, it removes those. Okay. So everywhere you made loans wrong for you, Shailaja and Sarita, are you both willing to destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. What if returning loans can actually create greater possibilities for you? If you're taking a loan to run your household expenses, then I would not suggest it. I would say look at stepping up and creating greater. Okay. So see if there is a loan for a house or a property investment or something else, if that could create greater possibilities for you, then look at that. Now that is possible only if you remove the underlying emotions which are pulling you down. If you made loans wrong, debt wrong, you cannot choose it with ease. The other thing is the word debt. I'm just going to put it on the group. So if you look at the word debt, it sounds like the word death. And in many lifetimes, people were killed for not returning their loans. So if people were in debt, they were very often, their heads were cut off or some such thing because they didn't return the loan to somebody. So that was also the reason why people were afraid sometimes in past lifetimes to take loans. And they would create a lot of trauma and drama around loans. They could not choose ease with loans. So all the trauma, drama, upset and intrigue you're choosing, with loans you're choosing, are you willing to destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, what, pork, online, shorts, boys, forwards and beyonds. Thank you, Shravana, for typing in those clearings there. So what if there is nothing right or wrong, good or bad about a loan? It just is a past expenditure that you could choose to create and return. What if you could return it with ease and have fun while returning it? Where did you make loans wrong for you? And what's the value of that?
Deepa,
You don't have to choose. One second, no, sorry. You don't have to choose a loan. But what if it's not wrong? Because anything you make right or wrong, good or bad, it's like excess baggage moving with you wherever you go. And you're carrying it and you're like, oh my God, life is so heavy. Of course it's heavy with all the judgments you're choosing. Yes, Sarita.
When I took the car, I had done it for 48 EMIs. Every month, on the 5th of the month, I would panic so badly. I wouldn't sleep for 2 days before 5th. And after filling the EMI, again I would get into panic mode to adjust for the next EMI. And I would it's such a national issue of my EMI. And after 4 years, I lost all my gold jewelry because I went into panic mode. I would sell my gold and I would set aside for EMI. And then on the 48 EMI, when my loan got closed and I got the message that your loan has been closed, I cried so badly out of joy. I called each and every person from the family that my loan has been closed. You asked her, I have cried so badly on that day.
when she paid the EMI, she didn't cry, Deepa. When the loan got over, no, that is when she cried out of so much joy. And she's asking everybody, can you read this message in the phone? They're saying it is give me the can you read this message? Can you read this message? She's asked every possible person, Deepa. My mom cannot read or write. She's like, I think even after some time, even I will be able to read this message the way she
Amazing. So, we had at one time, we had two housing loans going on because we were living in one property and we had rented out the other property. So, and then eventually we closed one loan and we still had the other loan pending. You know why we had the other loan pending? Because the interest rate was so low. We made a conscious choice to keep it. We could actually return the money fully, but we said, hey, this rate of interest is much lower than the rate of interest on our fixed deposits. So let's keep this loan. Okay. It was a crazy, interesting choice we made because when we took that loan, see, we took two loans at this particular time that I'm telling you about. One was a floating interest loan and the other was a fixed rate of interest. Now the fixed rate of interest, that bank which offered us that said, we will not change the interest rate throughout the tenure of your loan, and this is our commitment to you. I said, can you give me a statement? Can you give me a letter to that? They said, yes. And they gave us a letter to that. And I felt so confident. We took the loan and it was really awesome that till the end, when we did a pre-closure of the loan eventually, but it was so funny. We pre-closed because of other reasons. So it was so funny that we were laughing because we could have pre-closed it any time earlier, but we just chose it because what we were paying was nothing much as compared to the benefits we were getting from that. So what if loans could be fun? Where did you make loans wrong for you? What if you could enjoy the journey? And actually, one main ingredient is when you're enjoying the journey and willing to have fun no matter what, it's actually easier to return the loan. It's easier to choose greater. like, Sarita, she was, like she said, right? She had the car, but she was not enjoying the car, and she was in a panic mode every month beginning, and right. So it doesn't help us. It actually creates so much of stress, then your health goes down. Then we have a way of creating through panic all the time. It just becomes a habit. We stop creating from ease then, right? So for me, may not be with respect to finances so much, but there were many areas of my life I used to create with stress. And that was a way of my life. Okay. And I could not change it because I did not know any other way. That was the way that came naturally to me. And people around me were also not chilled out people that they could create with ease and joy. And so it just became a habit. And some years later, my health went down and there was so much of stress going on. My body was screaming and shouting to say, hey, I can't deal with this stress. And I was like, I get it, but I don't know any other way to deal with it. And all that started changing with the access tools. One second, please hold on. I'm just checking if there's any message for me on the chat window. No. Okay. So it's how you could be willing to create greater just by you choosing ease and joy. You choosing ease and joy can actually create greater, not somebody else. And that was a major learning for me. I had to unlearn all this way of creating stress, way of creating trauma, and that changed my reality big time. I undid the disease that was showing up in my body. I undid a lot of symptoms that were coming up in my body. But even now, sometimes people ask me, some of the access facilitators ask me, Deepa, you seem such a cool person. Do you ever get stressed out? I said, yeah, sure, I do. Sometimes old habits kick in. I do that. It's not like it's always, I'm not always choosing ease and joy. It does show up sometimes in my life where I'm choosing crap, trauma, and drama. Okay. So wherever you're choosing trauma and drama in your relationship to money, are you willing to destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, bot, poc, all 9 shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. And what is the value of choosing trauma, drama, upset, and intrigue in your life and living? Everything that is, are you willing to destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, bot, poc, all 9 shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. What else is possible? What else is possible in your money reality beyond the reality you currently have? And everything that doesn't allow that to show up, are you all willing to destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. What else would you like to ask? Any questions?
I had a question, Deepa.
Sure.
So, while I have never experienced a situation of debt, and there has been the blessing of being taken care of by self or by another, depending on where I am in life. But I have been able to create drama and trauma for myself in terms of not being able to feel abundant and feel independent. So I feel very limited in terms of the reliance that comes up in a very pattern oriented manner. So, how can I shift or change? This is my curiosity.
Okay, great question. It's a journey. And while playing with these tools of access, I found that it could create a sense of abundance somewhere down the line. And it's as we make different choices, things shift and change. And it's kind of crazy how sometimes some situations can just create an amazing sense of abundance. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. So it's not so much a how, but it's about what. Okay. How means, like, supposing you have to go travel from place A to place B, then you'll say, how can I reach from go from place A to place B? And we get attached to that. So shall I go by bus? Shall I go by this? Who will take me? Who will not take me? No, that is the problem now, blah, blah, blah. If you let go the how and say, okay, what would it take for me to, let us say you're meeting somebody at place B. What would it take for me to meet this person? Now, you're not even talking about going from place A to B. You're only talking about meeting. Maybe they'll come home, and then you meet over there, or you go there and you meet them there. But when we are not attached to the journey of how, it's actually easier to create. Okay. And I had this, my son was going to the UK to study, and we had to pay for his fees and living expenses. So I planned very well for the first installment, for the second installment. For somewhere I had missed that installment 3 had to be paid. Okay, so I had like hardly 2 weeks notice, and the third installment has to be paid. I was terribly shocked. I said, my God, is there a third installment? Somewhere I had not been present to that. And I said, oops, I paid for it and my account got totally wiped clean. Okay. I was like, wow, I haven't created such a low balance in my account for so many years. What the hell was that? And I went into what is called a beyond. A beyond is where you are frozen. So I was a little frozen. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And that kind of thing. And I just let go that. Started using these tools to let go that. So I was no longer in a state of beyond. And I knew I had to pay my son's living expenses also now. I had to still send him money for the living expenses. Okay. Plus, I had to make sure I also live here, right? So I said, okay, what else is possible? What else is possible? And just me asking that question of what else is possible started opening up new possibilities for me. I had a strange sense of abundance. My balance was the lowest I had seen in like 20, 30 years, but still I was crazily feeling abundant. And I was having discussions with people to say, hey, I want to start this thing. I want to do these things. So I would call somebody and say, I want to do blah, blah, something about my business. And I'm having this discussion and I know I can't pay for this. And I'm telling them, in 2 months, I would be able to pay for this. Right now, I can't, but I'd still like to initiate the discussions for this. So, and they were also very open. I was very open about this whole thing. And we had nice, amazing conversation. And after some time, I said, what the hell am I talking about in 2 months? How do I know that in 2 months it's going to come? But I just went with this. Now, at that time, somewhere I felt, hey, I have an insurance policy that could be maturing. What if I could receive that money with ease? And, if I had actually taken about 1 hour off and been willing to put the effort, I would have actually got the policy related documents, but I was just being lazy and I didn't go looking for it. But I just asked that insurance policy to ping me in case it's ready to be matured. Okay. It's crazy. The story is crazy. So in about a week or 10 days later, somewhere, this guy calls me out of the blue. He says, Madam, I'm calling from so-and-so bank. And that's not usually a bank I interact so much with. And I was like, okay, is this a cold call selling me a credit card or what? And he says, this is regarding your insurance policy that is due. It has matured now. And I would like to ask you whether you would like to take this money that has matured, or would you like to reinvest with us? And I was like, say what? I said, okay, how much is the amount? And I'm being very calm, cool. And it was a real good amount of money. I was like, wow, how did I get so lucky? And anyway, to make a long story short, I got the money. Okay. And so, it's strange as you start playing with these tools, that sense of abundance comes in where you're not always panicking, or it's kind of a strange space that you could create. Okay. I'll give you another example. that person is not online today. So this person, he was attending, after the Access Bars class, that's a 1-day class, there was a next level of class called Access Foundation, which is a 4-day class. So he was attending the Access Foundation class, and that was the time he was not in a job, okay? He was looking for a job, and he said, I feel somewhere I'll get a job that pays me more. I've got a job offer now, but I'm not happy about it. And I think somewhere I will get a better offer. So I'm just looking for what else is possible. And that was also the time we were conducting that Getting Out of Debt Joyfully workshop. Okay, so he was one of the class participants, and he asked me in the beginning, he said, Deepa, this is 12,000 bucks every month, 12,000 rupees every month. And he said, if I'm going to pay that when I don't have a job, do you think it would be good for me? Because I also have the home, house EMI to be paying for. It was just, I said, if it's right for you, join. And he said, what do you get? I said, join. I just said, join. And he joined. Okay. And he was paying every month 12,000 rupees for those 6 months. And he was creating so much of ease. He created a lot of possibility. He got a lot of new assignments to, create. And it was his hobby to be coaching people. And he started getting money for that too. And it was really interesting, the kind of courseware. There was a courseware he created in that period, a lot of different possibilities. So that sense of abundance just kicked in for him. And he was playing with so many tools. And after a few months, he even spent on the Access Foundation class, again with no point of view by that time, And he created this job that gave him, I think, more than 30% hike from his earlier job. So the sense of abundance is something unexplainable. What if it's not related to your bank balance? For many people, the sense of abundance is based on their bank balance. Not required. I know some relatives of mine who have created such a sense of abundance for themselves. They don't have children, and they're living with their nephew, niece, brother, sister, somebody, lot of ease. They may have an insecurity about money. If you keep that insecurity of theirs aside, they have still created that abundance, where they don't have to pay for their shelter, where they don't have to pay for their food. And they're not even the parents of these people they are living. People are just happy to have them with them. So have they created abundance in their life? Yes. Are they willing to acknowledge it? Not always. So I was having this discussion with this particular relative of mine. I said, this is called abundance. I said, I don't know what it is called in our regional language, but I can tell you this is what is called abundance. In English, it's called abundance. And I was explaining to her all the other things. And she said, yes, you're right. Yes, I'm receiving that. So have I explained? Although it might have been a long, far out way. Thank you.
No, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for
So
sharing
it's not
that.
a how, it's a what, actually.
What?
Ask what would
Yes,
it mean?
actually, the drama and the trauma comes with the how, I think.
Correct.
Yeah.
What would it take for me to choose to be abundance? What would it take for me? What if you could receive the abundance? What if you're already in abundance? All of you. Just receive that energy of abundance that you currently have. So what if somebody else is paying for your bills? So what if you don't have that physical bank balance of yours yourself? And so what if you're earning money and spending it on others too? What if you could do that with greater ease? So what abundance are you refusing that you truly could be choosing, that if you would choose it would create greater for you, for the world, and for new revenue streams to be added to your life and living? And everything that doesn't allow that, are you all willing to destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shorts, boys, poets, and beyond. So supposing there is some money to be paid to somebody, Don't ask, don't decide, this will pay that and wait. No, don't do that. That's being actually unkind to you. You're being unkind to you because that may not show up in the time, in the way that you have decided it should. Ask, okay, what else is possible? Ask what else is possible now. Ask the universe, okay, show me more ideas. What else is possible? You asking what else is possible itself may open up a whole new reality. I was looking at my share investments, stocks and shares recently. I said, for the past few months, I've been actually selling a lot of my shares. So if you talk to a stock analyst, technically the market is down. This is not a great time to sell shares. You just wait for the markets to pick up. Okay, that's the rule of the game. But what if you could create beyond rules? So there was one share that I had, and I was looking at it. And I looked at the past 1 year. What is the max it has reached? It has actually reached the max in the past 1 year. So even though markets are down, there are many stocks which go up, and this is one of them. It's not going according to the market rules. It's got a mind of its own. Okay, and there are many stocks and shares like this, which don't go according to whatever is predicted by the market. The markets may be going high, but some of your stocks may be going low. Similarly, the market may be going low, and this is one of those stocks that is going high. I said, I'm ready to sell this. I sold it. After 2 days, it went up for further 2 rupees, and I had not sold it fully. I sold some stock of it, and I still had a little more. And I said, okay, now I'm going to sell these 2. I don't have to keep my money parked in it for another 1 year for the market to pick up. I said, I'll go put this somewhere else. Maybe in another stock and share or whatever. And then I looked at some stocks and shares where it was stagnating. If I waited for markets to go up, I would get actually another 5 rupees more per stock. Even if I had 1,000 stock, what is that more? 3,000 rupees. I said, I'm not waiting for this. I just sold it. Okay. It's not worth it. Sometimes we're attached to buying at a price and selling at a higher price. What if it's not significant? If it's light for me, I'll just sell it. If it's light for me, I will buy it. Go with, what if you could go with your awareness, not just market predictions, market analysis. That's important. Do that too, but add your awareness to that. If you don't add your awareness to what you're creating, then who else will create your life? Because your awareness is a great ingredient for you creating your life. I cannot tell you, hey, you guys must do this, this, this. You must run your life like this. You must sell when the markets are up, buy when the markets are low. It doesn't always work like that. You have to see what works for you. I had so many banks telling me, hey, Deepa, we have a great loan interest for you. I said, okay, tell me. They said, our bank is the best. I said, great, tell me. You can transfer the other loan to us. Okay, great. Tell me your loan. And when they told me, I said, oh, I have a loan interest that's fixed interest and it is pegged at so much. They couldn't believe me. They said, which bank is giving you this loan? They couldn't believe such a thing existed. And immediately the branch manager said, okay, I'm done. Okay, see you then. Yeah, sure, bye. And he put the phone down because he knew he could not match that. He could not even give me equal to that. So when you're choosing ease and joy, the trauma and the drama will start falling off. And that's a journey too, because there are many areas of our life we are used to creating with trauma and drama. And when we are willing to choose ease and joy, the trauma and the drama is like dead leaves, just fall off. Okay, cool. I think we've come to the end of our session today. Any other questions from anybody?
Let us have some pictures. Show your faces.
Yes, show your faces, folks. Open up your videos, show up your beautiful, handsome, pretty faces so that we can see you.
Yes.
Lena, Shilpa, Nippy,
Show your face.
PG, Nidhi, Shiv Kumar, Shagufta. So many of you. Open up, open up, open up. Let's see you, even for a few minutes. We love to see you. Shravana, Shagupta.
I'm zoning out, Deepa.
No problem. That's okay. With so many clearings, people could sleep, and that's a very natural way to be. And in Access, we don't have a point of view that people are not listening like this. We're okay with them lying down and letting go too.
Yes, done.
Awesome. Thank you, Harish. Take another one. Cool. Any other questions? One last question, anyone? So see
I have
where
one.
you are. Yes, please ask.
How to stop carrying baggages?
Mm. This is one good question, Shivkumar. This is a habit we have created from lifetimes. So even if this whole lifetime we are letting go baggage, one of the ways is to destroy and uncreate whatever is coming up. This is a great, great tool to let go baggage. It's a fantastic tool to let go anger, to let go fear, to let go blame, where we are blaming other people. Oh, my life is terrible because of so and so person, right? So what happens? Our blame energy actually gets stuck and doesn't allow us to create greater. And we don't even realize that we have the blame energy as a companion in our life. For me, for the longest time, it was my tendency to play victim. I'm a victim. Oh my God, my life is terrible. So and so, if they had not done that to me, then I would have been a happy person. You know, that was the story of my life. So even now, that's my it's a very easy space for me to go into. And then I ask myself, am I playing victim here? And I get a yes, and I let go that too. So it's fun for me. In the past, I never could laugh about it or even talk about it in front of an audience because the playing victim was so much a part of me. Now I know I'm just choosing that emotion for a short while, and I can laugh about it and let it go too. Um, it's just one of those things. So this baggage thing is something we find it the easiest to create, easy to pick up. So it's about we have to keep destroying and uncreating it all. And as the choices in our life change and you find more space, more ease, that's the space of possibilities where a new choice doesn't have to be a right choice, a wrong choice, a good choice, or a bad choice. Just choose. And as you choose, you create greater possibilities. The reason is sometimes we want to choose the best choice. So we are saying, oh my God, I must make the perfect choice at the perfect time. It doesn't work like that. Just choose. If it doesn't work for you, unchoose and choose again and choose again and choose again. What if that's all the significance of life? What if we didn't have to make life so difficult, life so proper and correct? To be the perfect life. I can't make a mistake in business. I'm not even willing to start so that I have the perfect business and then I'll be willing to start. What if I can create all the money possible to buy a house and then, when I'm old and dead and gone, then I will buy a house for whom? Even you can't live in it. So it's sometimes we overplan, overthink, overdo so much, we make life difficult. And then what if you could laugh it off? I found I was so serious some years ago. I said, my God, I have to change this aspect of my life. I could not even laugh at a comedy film. And that was my choice at that time. But I said, I'm going to change this. I don't know how, but I'm going to change this. Now I can laugh at many things in my life. And if I'm super serious, I can make it. Am I very serious today? Not willing to have fun? Okay, I pod and pop that. So pod and pop is a short form for that whole long clearing that we have. And that also clears energies. Sometimes we don't know that we are angry or upset or whatever. Just say, okay, whatever this is, pot talk. Whatever this is, pot talk. And it shifts and changes. So cool.
Okay.
Thank you all for joining in. Sorry, you were saying something? So read this book, and if you want to join in for playing along in for once a month, once a week, for 8 weeks, the tools of getting out of debt joyfully. See you from Monday, and you can message me for any other questions. Thank you so much. See you then.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Deepa.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Some of you are already registered, and I've added you to the group. I'll be adding the others soon. See you then. Bye bye.